Hello there, welcome, do come in. My name is Matt Mason, I'm the Fellow and Director of Studies in Physiology. So physiology is the study of how the body works, brains, hearts, lungs, all of that kind of thing. So I would be teaching the medical students, the veterinary students and the natural scientists within the university and within college. Before we go any further into the room, if you just turn your attention there, I just want to show you John Ray. John Ray is one of our most famous alumni. He was a very famous naturalist, actually, who was here as a student for a couple of years. And John Ray is credited sometimes with the British love for wildlife and natural history, because that's what he was very much into. So he was a very influential scientist, and our Natural Science Society here in St. Catz is called the John Ray Society after him. So we have my comfy sofa here, which I use for sort of chats to my students, perhaps about their careers and about how things are going. But most of the action takes place at my supervision table. So this is where we do our small group teaching. I would normally have a group of students around here and would be talking a little bit about the material they've covered in the lectures and how they engage with that. Do they have any problems with it that I can help? And also trying to get them to go a little bit further, getting them to think in more detail about their studies. This shelf here contains all sorts of artifacts that I've accumulated over the years. So these are 3D printed models of the human ear ossicles, which are the three tiny bones, the smallest bones in the body, which are in your middle ear. And most of the rest of the things here are things that are involved in teaching one way or another. So what have I got? So I've got one of these. This was a favourite of mine when I was a boy. If you've seen one of these toys, they shoot up like that. There you go, I caught it first time. But this is an example of what's called snap buckling instability. And you can use this to illustrate how the Venus flytrap plant snaps shut very quickly to catch insects, which is something that I cover in my plant physiology supervisions. What else have we got here? We've got rehydration treatments. I use these to illustrate my lectures sometimes. This is what you would just buy from the chemists, and this is the UNICEF version. Rehydration salts are, well, they were a very important physiological innovation when they came about. People realised that you needed to rehydrate people, so you needed to get sodium and chloride into them if they were dehydrated, for example, in a cholera epidemic. And then someone realised that the transporter that you use in your small intestine to take up the sodium also takes up glucose. And as soon as they added some glucose into the mix, a little bit of sugar, they found it worked much better as a rehydration treatment. So this is something which is very important, and I use this to explain to our physiologists why we're learning about these transporters and how this can have real-world impact. A few things that I get given by students. This, I think this is Raphael, and I got given this because he carries a weapon called a sai, which is actually an Okinawan word for a martial arts weapon. But the word sai, written a different way, is actually a symbol which is used for potentials in physiology. So I talk in my lectures about water potential in cells, and many students will be familiar with that from A-level. Well, here's a sai being wielded by Raphael to remind us all of that. If you're thinking of applying to St. Catherine's, then good luck, and perhaps I'll see you in the future.